Hi, this is Kristen Burton, and I'm here to talk to you today about ways you can achieve progress over procrastination. Now, procrastination is a common trait among writers and graduate students, and often writers use procrastination as a way to explain their lack of progress. But regardless of the cause of one's procrastination, the end result is still the same. You're left with a stagnant draft, and that can lead to rising levels of frustration as well as self-doubt. So we're going to talk about ways that you can avoid that and move forward. Now, as I mentioned in the presentation on overcoming frustration while you write your dissertation, it is important to vent frustrations that build up throughout the writing process. And complaining about writing is a favorite pastime of all writers, whether they are graduate students or not. But be sure that you can move past those complaints at some point, regain your focus, and return to writing. Now, outside forces beyond our control can interrupt the writing process. Unfortunately, life does not stop while you write your dissertation. Still, make sure you distinguish between what you do and what you do not control. If something you do control regularly disrupts the writing process, recognize that and do what you can to avoid it, make adjustments, take control of the situation so something within your control is not disrupting the writing process. Now, there are common practices writers use to perpetuate procrastination and delay their progress. One is waiting until the last minute to write. This is very common among graduate students. It is a learned behavior, usually learned while going through coursework. And I've heard a lot of people say that they work best under pressure and often wait until the last minute to write, but simply that can't be true. Waiting until the last minute puts unbelievable amounts of stress and pressure on yourself. It can lead to it can impact negatively your health, and it can lead to poor qualities of writing drafts. So if your advisor is setting deadlines for you to submit a chapter draft and you wait until the final days or even hours to complete that draft, you're putting yourself through a lot of stress. Pulling all-nighters is incredibly hard on your health. And the habitual reliance upon this approach and practice is going to make what is already a very challenging process probably incredibly miserable. It can also lead to burnout, and that's not something you want to put yourself through. That is something you can control. So budget your time. Hold yourself to an established work schedule. If you're deadline driven, set your own deadlines. Save them in your calendar, set them as tasks in your phone, whatever will keep it in the forefront of your mind. And then treat those deadlines as you would treat the ones set by your advisor. Also, find support outside of yourself. Look to your colleagues, perhaps members of a writing community, people who will understand what you are going through and can offer encouragement and motivation. Another thing that writers tend to do is they wait for moments of inspiration before they begin to write. This is one of the easiest ways to accomplish nothing while writing your dissertation. One example of how detrimental this can be to the writing process was captured in a study conducted by Robert Boyce. In this study, he separated groups of professors into 50, and he assigned them to 50 writing sessions. He told one group of professors to wait until they were inspired before they began to write. He told the other group to write every day, regardless of whether or not they felt like writing at all. But the second group ended up writing 3.5 times more than the group that was waiting for inspiration. And people who forced themselves to write found that they developed creative ideas faster than if they were simply waiting around for inspiration to strike. And that's true. Writing will push you to think about your research in new ways. And the best source, honestly, for inspiration is to sit down and write. And in this quote by Ralph Keyes, you can see some great advice here when he says, serious writers write, inspired or not. Over time, they discover that routine is a better friend to them than inspiration, and that's absolutely true. So don't wait for moments of inspiration. You have research. You have arguments to make. So sit down and knock them out. Also, another common tactic or common cause of procrastination is endlessly editing to create a quote-unquote perfect draft. This is a common trap, but it's also procrastination masked as productivity. Now, revising is critical to the writing process, and editing will take up much of your time as you write and complete your dissertation. But it's important to know when to stop editing your draft. Your committee will provide feedback and ask for edits, so let them guide you. But the dissertation needs the approval of your committee members and only your committee members. So focus on what they are looking for and how you can please them and move forward. And certainly, you want the drafts you submit to your committee members to be neat and organized and well written. But if you find that you are endlessly editing to avoid submitting your work, then you have crossed over into the realm of procrastination. So in a nutshell, lower your expectations. Again, as I mentioned in one of the other presentations, you're not writing high literature here. You're writing a dissertation. And again, your dissertation needs to please a very small number of people. So keep that in mind. So how do we avoid these traps? Honestly, the only thing that's going to overcome procrastination is writing. Distractions are not going to stop as you write your dissertation. The question rests with how you choose to manage those distractions. Try shutting off your phone if notifications tend to be disruptive. You can turn it on silent. Some phones have do not disturb features that will turn off email or text notifications. Some people like to turn off Wi-Fi when they write or use apps that block certain social media sites, such as Stay Focused, available on Chrome. And if you find yourself losing a lot of time to perhaps watching your favorite shows, Netflix is a big enemy for productive writing. Instead, turn watching your favorite shows into a reward. If you meet your daily writing goal, then treat yourself to watching a show you really like to watch. Also, connect to other dissertation writers, some that may be in an online community, and see if they can offer support, encouragement, and motivation, help you get out of any rut that you may find yourself in. But with structured goals, managing your time, and simply sitting in front of a computer and typing, really at the heart of it, those are the true keys to defeating procrastination and finishing your dissertation. So good luck with your writing. As always, please let us know how we, the administrators, can help, and let us know if you have any questions. Good luck.